I had some friends who were like, oh my gosh, you're missing a tooth, and you're just like, I know. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jessica here, and I'm finally posting the Q&A video that I meant to do about a month and a half ago. I tried doing the video quite a few times, but I just couldn't really produce anything. But here we are, and thank you guys for sending in your questions. And yes, I don't have my retainer in, so I am missing my front tooth. If you have more questions about that, stay tuned to keep watching, or you can click the video over here to get like an overview about what's going on. I also have my laptop with me. If I'm looking down, that's the reason why. First question is, how bad were your teeth before you got braces? I'm gonna insert a picture over top while I keep talking. You can see that my bottom teeth are pretty crowded, and obviously I am missing a front tooth because I fell off a scooter while I was in grade 2. And then the baby incisor next to it came out as well. When it grew in as an adult tooth, the incisor kind of took over the spot. It just kind of like sat awkwardly in the middle. It was bad in the sense that it looked really like non-symmetrical, if that made any sense. They're really crowded, and I also had a bit of an overbite. So I'll insert another picture here. You can see that these were when I was 18. I got a consultation with an orthodontist. Yeah, like my cheekbones seemed more prominent, and like my cheeks seemed a little more sunken in, and my mouth protruded a little more because of how my teeth were aligned. But now it's like when you look at my face, it looks a lot like my face looks more even now in terms of like not having, I don't know, like. The next question is, how many years did you have to go through with braces? To answer the question quickly, I got braces for 3.5 years. I was in first year of university. On October 15th was when I ended up getting my braces on, and then it didn't come off until like January of my 4th year, which was basically this year. My orthodontist said I was going to be in braces for 2 years, but honestly I thought that seemed a little quick. Did you have to do anything to your teeth before you got your braces? Surgery? Question mark. I did have to get my premolars extracted. So I had 3 extracted like this, and then I left one here until like the final stage where I was gonna move my teeth over to create the space. Your bones will be supported by the tooth, so then like the resorption is a bit less than if you were to go like from the get-go for 3 years to not have anything in that space. At the end of the day, I did have to get a bone graft regardless, but it was just less invasive than it could have been. When did you start treating your teeth? Before high school or all your life? So like I said, I didn't actually get braces until I was 18. When I was in grade 8, I remember going to like, you know, the public health, because it was free for, like in Canada. So this dentist recommended me to get a composite. So they tried to make the baby incisor here, which is sitting in the middle of like my mouth at that moment, look like my front tooth. I think it was kind of a bad decision because it did not look symmetrical at all, because I had my incisor, my 2 front teeth, and then next to it was a canine. So I mean, you can already see how that wouldn't really work out. Grade 8 is kind of when you become more self-aware of things, and you're just like, you're going through puberty and you're starting to realize like, oh, I don't look normal compared to other people, or like, you know, this is such a minor thing, but everyone was getting braces, or everyone was going through some sort of change, and you just feel a little like, oh, I didn't realize that I had this problem all along. And needless to say, like, I was really unhappy with it. I went through a month of it before I decided I had enough. I just wanted to take this off so that I could go back to having my teeth the way they were. I mean, it wasn't perfect in either situations, but that experience really made me afraid of going to the dentist. So I basically neglected going to the dentist for about up until like grade 12 or grade 11. So yeah, and then I had a lot of plaque buildup and all that, but I mean, like the research and everything, like I always kind of, during my teen years, I knew I wanted to get something done, but I didn't actually get any treatment until I was in university. And the timing kind of worked out because my bones were still growing, and if I got braces when I was 13, I would still have to wait till like I was an adult. So I mean, all in all, it just kind of, things worked out the way they were supposed to. How much did the whole process cost? Braces, implant, retainer, consultations, etc. So like I said, extractions cost money. So it was probably about like 100 to like 120 per tooth. Okay, I'll just do like a little total as I'm talking on the side, as I sort through like my posts and what I wrote about it. Basically, the braces was $4,800. That's because I got ceramic braces. If I had metal, it would have been $4,500. And the orthodontist that I picked was the cheapest option out of the three that I saw. And a lot of them were quoting me about like 7 to 8K, and honestly, I couldn't afford that. And I don't really come from like a wealthy family, so I kind of had to work to save up to pay for it on my own. So of course, I just tried to do what was most feasible at the moment, and just went with my current orthodontist. Yeah, and then the implant, it's about, I believe, close to 8 or 9 thousand. It depends, because if I pay it off all now, I can get a little bit of like, I can get a 10% discount, so that will change the price a little. Like 10% is a lot when it comes to the thousands. So my procedure, it included the basic Holly retainers that I have, the ones with the wires. Yeah, that included the fake tooth that was attached to it. Um, but then I had to pay extra for the clear Essex retainer, which looks like an Invisalign tray. So that was after I got my bone graft, and you can see it in this video. I'll link to like the time where I like show it. Um, yeah, so consultations, sometimes they cost money, sometimes they don't. Um, I honestly don't remember because it's been a while now, but in terms of diagnosis fees and like cleaning, as well as like x-rays, that is also additional costs, because while you're in braces, it depends on how clean you are, but no matter what, like there is always some slip up, and you'll probably want to get at least 2 cleanings a year. My school covered one, so I had to pay out of pocket for the other one, but I think that was a lot better, because every semester I would binge eat sugar and stuff because I was so stressed. And maintaining that, I think, is worth it for your teeth. Like paying to get healthy teeth is good. So anyways, in total, I must have spent about like 16,000, I would say. Like you should definitely have some contingency funds. Just make sure that you are prepared for like any unforeseen costs. So what's the best or worst part about having braces? I think the best part about having braces was that I could finally smile in photos, despite that my teeth were not perfect, and yeah, it looked a little goofy and whatever, and it was straightening out, and like in the beginning, like my mouth protruded a lot. The brackets and everything was pushing my mouth a little forward. But at the same time, I felt like it was a bit of a construction sign, so people who looked at your mouth and thought it looked funny obviously knew you were going through, you were trying to make a change. And picking the braces colors were also pretty fun. The worst part is definitely, I would say, the cleaning. Getting your teeth tightened and having it being a little sore for a bit can be a bit of a nuisance, I guess. And if anything, it's really just getting food stuck, and you couldn't eat certain things. Like I couldn't eat corn. If I had sandwiches, sometimes I would have to cut them into smaller pieces. Like it took a lot more time to eat my food. In terms of dental wax, I've never actually used it that often throughout the 3.5 years that I had braces. Maybe like 3 times max. It never really got that bad, and sometimes you can get like ulcers, but they'll go away as well. Like having braces can just be like temporarily uncomfortable. I think that's like the only best way to describe it. So she asked, what are some things we should know before getting the retainer? So if you have a situation like me where you are missing a tooth and you're preparing for an implant or something afterwards, make sure your retainer does the job of keeping your teeth the way it was like before the braces came off, because this is like the perfect, everything is in place, so you don't want it to shift a lot. And make sure you are mentally prepared to know whether you're going to be walking around with a gap or if you have a fake tooth, and basically just discuss with your orthodontist like what is in plan, so you know and can prepare for that. Yeah.
You can also discuss the option of getting a bonded retainer, which is permanently fixed to the back of your teeth. But due to my situation, I had a gap and I wasn't sure what the shape was going to be, so I opted not to get that.
Free ticket to my head asks, did your gums recede a lot? Mine did, but I don't know if it's something that always happens with braces or if it's just me. So if you look at the picture here, you will definitely see that the gums, they don't go like, you know, a little triangle between the spaces. There are like little holes in between, like gaps. I think it's also because I had a lot of crowding, so all that movement can probably put a little bit of strain on your gums. So I don't know if that's permanent, but it probably might be. And if that's a really big concern to you and you're worried about the health of your teeth, you should definitely go see a dentist and see what they recommend to you. I think it's not just you. I think it happens with a lot of people. As well, like up here, I noticed that like my gum line is a lot higher, and you'll see it. I'll put like a comparison. I think that just goes with any dental work, especially braces, because there's just so much movement going on, and your teeth is constantly like having to adjust to a new position. So I'm sure that your gums might have troubles keeping up. When I'm getting my implant, they did say that like they built more gum for here, but they're going to shape it afterwards. So I mean, if you're not going through that, it might be a little different for you, but let me know how it goes. And also, thank you so much for always commenting and asking questions. I really appreciate it as well. How did having braces affect your dental care? Like, do you put more time on it even now that it's all done? Was brushing your teeth difficult? By the time you're watching this, I hope that the video is up because I've been struggling so hard to get it together. But I filmed it like a month ago. And if you click here, it should be my dental hygiene routine. So it shows how I clean my retainer and, you know, floss and stuff like that. I can say like 100% having straighter teeth makes brushing my teeth so much easier and faster, because before I had like all these like, you know, things that it was just really hard to get in between some spaces, and now that it's all straight like that, you know, like it just makes the process a lot smoother in a way. Because of my retainer situation, like eating out in public can be really tough. This happened recently at a restaurant where I was eating with a friend, so I noticed that there were these two women behind us who were kind of whispering, and then one of their friends turned around to look at me. When that happened, I just felt really uncomfortable because here I am obviously just trying to enjoy my meal and not really make a spectacle out of anything. Like, I can't really help the fact that like this is what it is. I think that's the only case of um, feeling a little strange. I mean, I'm doing this video now without a tooth, but that's okay because I know it's for my YouTube video, I know it's for my YouTube channel, which talks about braces. So, I mean, it's more in context, but when I'm out, sometimes I'm like, okay, fine, I'll have this iced drink with my retainer on, and then, or I'll go to a party and I'll drink with like, you know, it on, and of course that can make it get a little cloudy and whatnot, and it does take a little more time because of that. That being said, I am not perfect when it comes to brushing my teeth, and there are days where there are days when I really just can't give a crap because I'm just so tired or whatever, you know, really bad excuses. People say you're not allowed to bite into a sandwich or eat chicken wings, but I kind of still did it anyways. I only had two occasions where my wire or like my bracket popped off. That was once when I was getting my wisdom teeth removed, and the second time was when we applied, like they weren't related to eating, so I mean it's okay. Eating was difficult in a way that like whatever I ate could get stuck, and I had to avoid certain foods that were messy. So someone asks, and do you chew gum? No, I don't. Like I still don't really chew gum even without braces. There are a few times where I have, and it's like, you know, nothing's there, but then sometimes it gets like the little strands like hook onto your little wires at the back. Yeah, it's not worth it. I wouldn't do it. That kind of leads into the next question. Did getting braces impact your confidence in any way? And also, were there a lot of kids slash people who teased you? Yeah, in grade 4, there were definitely people who were like, oh, look at you, or like, I don't know, what's wrong with her teeth? To be honest, I just never really noticed that there was anything different with me until I hit puberty, and I was like, oh shit. Now that I'm older, actually when I'm older, there aren't people who tease me at all. And if they do, at least they're not saying it to my face. I think kids or teenagers just kind of lack an understanding and can't really empathize with things that they don't get. In terms of adulthood, it definitely gets better. People aren't as ruthless when it comes to teasing. There are definitely another, percentage of people who are assholes because they want to be. I feel like you just can't really let things like that bother you. Going back to the confidence question, the insecurity comes and goes in waves, and sometimes it's really magnified. I've said to other people, it's really just a mentality that you have to pick up. Just know that you're doing the best that you can, and this is something that you are proactively trying to change. So if other people can't seem to understand or give you slack about something that you're already doing your best to improve on, then screw them. Like, my friends are super supportive, and whenever I talk to them about this, or like, they ask curious questions, they're always really kind about it. Or they'll be like, oh hey, I just saw your blog post and I wanted to see your teeth is like coming together and it's looking really good, and I appreciate that. Right when I got my braces off, before I had my bone graft and had to shave down the front tooth, I felt really confident. I was able to meet people and smile, and it was so weird seeing myself with a full set of teeth because that was never ever the case in like the past 22 years of my life. In photos, I'm always smiling with my mouth open, and now it's a little different because it's shaved down, and I'm still learning how to talk without having the shaved part of the tooth show. So I only have to deal with it until possibly November. It's because I'm not through the whole procedure, but I'm sure that by the time I'm done, it will be amazing, and you can keep an eye out for a video when that happens. Yeah. What are you looking most forward to when you get your braces off? Before I had my braces off, I was really looking forward to just eating things and just being able to like brush it normally. And now that it is off, I mean, like, yeah, that still kind of applies. Let's just frame this question to what are you looking forward to when you get your implant. So when I get my implant, I just can't wait to be like, I can go to whatever social event I want. I'm definitely just looking forward to living a more normalized life and not having it like impact my self-esteem and all that. So your advice on not looking 13 with braces, LOL. I don't know. I think it's different for everybody, because if you look at me, I don't think anyone would first impression think that I'm 22. I think braces nowadays are just so much more like universal, like everyone goes through them. I don't really have any advice on not looking super young. I think you should just embrace it, be youthful, whatever, because like this is only gonna last for a set amount of years before your braces come off. For me, I didn't really give a crap, and I just kind of picked all the fun colors that I wanted to pick. Bright teal, like, I don't know, freaking like purple, and like all these other things that were just like really in your face and probably screamed kid, but it kind of made the process of having braces less monotonous. I understand maybe you just want to look more professional in your workplace, or you want to be taken more seriously. That I don't have a lot of advice on because I never went through that. I think you just have to carry yourself like with your head held high and just be confident, and like people will see you for who you are. Anyways, I'm sorry if it's not super helpful, but yeah. So braces and guys in university, what's that like? And also, what do you do on dates with guys? Do you suggest another activity aside from food? I think that's a really good question to ask. I know there used to be a lot of stigma against Tinder, but I think that's kind of where I really started meeting people and going on dates, because I didn't really date much when I was in high school. Of course, you can kiss with your braces and you don't really feel anything, to be honest. If you have a power chain, I wouldn't suggest making out intensively because things could get caught. I do definitely get really intimidated when they suggest to eat something right away. yeah, I'm working on that. But even like meeting new friends, I've been quite self-conscious. I think if I feel comfortable around you, I will take my retainer off, but usually if we're just going for a drink, like I'll keep it on, which is pretty bad. Yeah, like when I hear the word, oh, do you want to go for food? Sometimes I get cold feet. I think it's really all in my head. I mean, yeah, it's pretty out there, but I think a lot of it is me identifying myself with the fact that I'm missing a tooth. If anything, even when I'm going out for food with people that I just met, I'll be like, hey, just so you know, I'm missing a tooth, haha, like I'm just gonna take my retainer off and hope this doesn't weird you out because I gotta eat. And most people are like, oh, cool, like, that's fine. I know friends who have been through this. So I've experienced a lot of kind people, but there are times when I just feel really awkward to even announce it. I think that's my way of coping with the fact that I have this situation. It's still hard sometimes, and of course when I laugh, I like cover my mouth because I feel a little weird being like, hee hee. I'm just gonna be really excited when I get my implant that I don't have to deal with any of this. Oh, if I have to like go on my break at work and I have to drink something, I don't know, like if I'm at a party, I just don't eat. Like I just don't. I don't know why. Unless like I know everybody. It can get exhausting sometimes. How did it feel to finally have braces off after so long? Was it worth it? Did the process change you at all? So yes. Yes, it did. It felt great to get it off. My teeth was nice and smooth, and brushing it was like, wow, this is nice to not have to go through all these brackets. I haven't had anyone who has said like, oh, I regret getting braces, unless you've gone through like a terrible experience. It's only temporary, it will change, and you will really be thankful that you went through this. Like no matter what age you are, if you're 50, if you're like 20, if you're 13, I think it's just a minor inconvenience. It's just a chapter in your life, and you'll go through a bunch of different milestones like school, like love, whatnot, and this is just one of them, and you honestly don't even know that they're there. Like after a while, your braces just become like a part of your mouth, and you don't, like, you can just interact normally like you do every day. So yeah, I think it changed me for better. There are days when I just don't really feel that great because of the self-confidence issue, but I'm working on it. It's going, and it's not anything that I regret doing.
That being said, I know that cost is a really big factor for a lot of people, and this is not something that anyone can easily afford. If it's within your means to save up for it, go ahead, and perhaps you can look for some more affordable healthcare options or community centers that may offer it at a discounted cost.
Whew, this was a really long video, and I'm really glad that I finally made it. And thank you guys for asking all these questions, because it was something that I wanted to talk about for a long time. And I knew people were curious, but it just gave me a chance to address them. And if anything, if you have more questions, you can leave them in the comments below and I'll try to get back to you. And if you have any suggestions, you can do that as well. Thank you for staying to the end of this video. If you watched this, like, kudos to you. And I will hopefully post sometime in the future. And yeah, I'm going to see the prosthodontist to talk about the bone graft on Monday, which is tomorrow. So maybe by the time you watch this, I'll have like another update. If you guys are going through the same thing, good luck. I would love to hear about your story. I just find it so exciting. It's like camaraderie in a really strange way that's like pretty personal, I guess. Anyways, alright. See you in the next one. Bye!